Folks, this is one presentation I created for Collab Summit in Vancouver. I was not there, but I created. I won't talk about everything. I would like to give a summary of what we accomplished in the Node.js security side. And then I will open for discussions. So maybe each table will come up with a good idea for the security side of Node.js, or like, oh, let's implement something, or let's remove something, let's drop HTTP, let's say, I don't know. And so let me skip this thing. The Node.js group are split in two groups. Basically, we have the triage team and we have the Node.js security team, which is a working group. It's not a working group, but it was. Basically, the triage team is people from the TSC, some specific Node.js contributors with security expertise, and plus the release team and the build team. And what happens is that whenever someone feels a HackerOne, we assess it and we evaluate and we say, oh, this is not applicable. And on the other side, the security team is not a working group, okay? Just remove the working group. And basically, we work on cool features, cool processes, which is boring, but it's very cool. Basically, in the last year, we have accomplished a bunch of things that I will show in this slide, and one of it is the permission model. I have spent quite some time on it, and it keeps failing. I'm kidding, it's not failing. So let me skip this. Don't use Windows. We have created another tool called Is My Node Vulnerable? That's just a simple tool. I came up with an idea a few months ago. Like, what if we include directly on Node.js node check vulnerability or check update or something like this, and the Node.js fails instantaneously if it is using a vulnerable version of Node.js. After some thoughts, some discussions, we decided, okay, that could be a module instead. So I created the Is My Node Vulnerable? So if you want to check if you are using a vulnerable version of Node.js, just run it, and it will display a very good image for you. Okay, so if you are using a danger version, it will show danger, and we will show all the CVs open for that version. And if you are using a good version, it's all good for you. So, well, the security team active participants, we have like a lot of people participated in the last year, a lot of new contributors, and they are the most active participants. So I'm glad I could meet Thomas for the first time here. So he joined in the first Node.js security working group meeting when he activated. So it's cool to see you. I just need to see Ulysses now. Well, a little bit about the past. Well, we have accomplished a bunch of tasks. As I mentioned previously, we have this repository that is Node.js Dependence Vulnerability Assessments. Now I know the name. Basically, whenever a dependence of Node.js released a CVE, patches a CVE, and it scans once a week, if I remember correctly, and it opens an issue telling, okay, zlib opened this CVE, it might or might not affect Node.js. So as a team, we assess it, we check, okay, we use that specific function, we don't use, so we believe that is affecting Node.js, we don't believe. If that's critical, we release a secret patch or even a public patch, a release of Node.js. So that's the idea. So if you want to check, let's say that you use a security scanner, and this security scanner is saying that the Node.js binary is vulnerable to this version because of a specific dependency. You go to this repository and you check that this is true or not. We have also created the security best practice document. Well, I won't talk a lot about it because I will have a session with Michael tomorrow in the Open Source Summit. So if you want to know more about it, check the talk. Okay. This is the permission model. Well, so we have created the permission model. Basically, who knows what is the permission model? Just to, okay, 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, I'm famous, huh? Basically, the idea is to assess supply chain security, but we know that this is just a mitigation. It won't solve all the problems. Supply chain attacks are so large that it's very hard to identify or fix those things. And by looking to the Node.js HackerOne issues that we receive, most of the reports affect Node.js developers, not Node.js production servers, which means that, well, let's say that you are trying to find to solve a bug. You normally go to the Google and the Google redirects you to a Stack Overflow or maybe ChatGPT. And then it comes with, okay, install this package and it will solve the problem. However, when you install the package, you are basically allowing that package to give access to your machine. So if you are installing with a root, the package will have root access to your machine. It could leak your password, it could send malwares over the network and do whatever they want to do. So the idea of this feature is basically, okay, as a developer, I will guarantee my safety that no package or this binary or this specific Node.js application won't read this specific file or this specific path or won't write to this specific path. So that's the idea of this feature. We have a lot of things to fix or to clarify in the documentation, but it is shaping up, yeah. We have also a runtime API. So if you want to check that if a version or a specific path is valid or not, like if you have access to it, you can just use the runtime API. We received tons of feedback. Well, one thing that I would like to talk about is the OSSF scorecard. I won't talk a lot about it, but basically we have meetings every other week in the security team. And we check some repository in the Node.js project, which means like, okay, we are targeting a maximum score in the OSSF scorecard. If you look, the Node.js security working group contains an 8.2 of score, which is pretty good, I guess. We don't have a threshold yet. We are still talking with the OSSF team. But things like, imagine that you have GitHub Actions, right? Normally, when you have GitHub Actions, you have the version. For instance, action/checkout. Everybody's used it. And then you use a specific version, let's say version 4. Instead of using the version, the tag, we use the commit hash. Because commit hash are immutable. They can be tricked, but it's very difficult. Let me show you one example. GitHub Node.js and GitHub Fastify. Okay, I'm talking about this. Everybody can read, right? I'm using an action checkout version 3. Let's say that someone take access on this specific user or organization actions and to this specific repository. If this actor, this bad actor, he can basically, they can replace the v3 flag, the v3 tag with an bad or malware unsafe code, and it will run in the Node.js scope. What we did, and what increased also the Node.js OSSF scorecard is to pin it by commit hash. Let me show you one example. And the good thing is like Dependabot, RenovateBot, also you updates it, so you don't need to do it manually. And it also adds the comment in the end. So in your side, nothing will change. So it's just better to have it. I wrote about it in my blog post, so if you want to see it in details, I have an example how to bypass this. So, well, that's it. Basically, I won't talk more about the security because, as I said, we will talk for 40 minutes tomorrow about it. It's not tomorrow, it's Wednesday. And now I would like to open it for discussions, like leave some time to discuss about security. Why do you think Node.js is missing? Why do you think we should do workflows? It can be just documentation, can be some training, anything that you think that will increase the Node.js security scope. Well, that's it. Let me stop sharing. Okay. Any idea? Any idea? Do you have a microphone? I do. It's for me. Oh, sorry. So, one thing I have on mind is basically it's working. So one thing that we are trying to do in the security working in the security team is to automate the security process to reduce the time that we take to perform a security release. I did a discovery and noticed that normally we do 5 or 4 security releases in a year of Node.js. But considering the amount of reports we receive or amount of dependencies we have, normally we need to have this a shorter time frame. So this is one idea that we are discussing and maybe working on that with the help of OSSF funding. Any other idea? Why do you think it's not working? You can just throw away the idea, you know, like, it's not working this, I don't like it, so we can discuss. I know that you have something, Adrian. you are laughing.
Preparing release, security release is usually really painful, even for the people who updates the thing. But something that really makes me, I usually feel really confused about the CI. When we put a CI on security embargo, that literally frees the rest of the collaborations. And that literally slows down the core development, right? I think if you want to be faster, we should not hide the entire build infrastructure. Like, I don't know. I mean, I usually use the CI for different stuff, and when the CI is under security embargo is, something that I usually like. And also keep track of the disclosure. I know when it's like an OpenSSL issue, we don't have that problem. But when it is a node issue, the disclosure is kind of like more hard to track, even for us. Like the process of creating the issues on HackerOne and publishing the things on that Google groups that, frankly, I don't know who reads that. That's horrible. I think all that can be automated and easier for releasers. What I'm trying to say is CI is usually a huge blocker on a security release. besides preparing that and all the lobby that you have to do with HackerOne and email list, blah blah blah, I don't care. But CI is really painful. I know it's really hard. I have no idea about infra, but improving that could be really helpful for community and node development as well, because we literally freeze the whole thing till we release that.
We have a session
Yeah.
at 15 past 3. Does that mean to just do something about CI?
Please do.
You want to join?
Yeah.
It's on the fifth floor.
Right. I know that there we should make a security embargo on the CI, otherwise we will leak the patches in advance, unless we have a different Jenks setup with different machines, but that will be. Okay. Yeah, I think that will be more work for the build team, maybe. Yeah. So, and okay, this is the CI, and the other thing was better explanation about Node.js dependencies when they patch vulnerabilities, right?
The whole HackerOne lobby and security.
Okay, I think that we can definitely improve that. We do it for OpenSSL, right? Like when OpenSSL shows a patch or display a patch that affects Node.js, we normally create a blog post of assessment in Node.js. Probably we should do it more with other dependencies. Right, any other idea in this table? Tick-tock. No? Next one, this table. An idea? Security?
I think the permissions model is probably quite powerful and useful, but I think it's very hidden. Like, permissions model. So I think if it was more publicized, that could make a huge difference. I don't know anyone aside from like me that is using it. And like when we're supporting things in Node, we build in support for it, but I don't know if everyone is aware that they might need to do that. So I think it's quite possible that we're adding new features that should be gated by the permissions model, and they aren't just because they don't know it exists or how it works.
That's a very good point. There's one thing that when we land features, mainly in the security scope, that we land it as an experimental feature. So when we land as this flag, nobody uses, because okay, it's experimental, it will break every single time, so they won't use, and we won't have feedback, and that's stuck. That's the whole problem. And? Oh. Yeah, no, that's all.
So I was curious on where you get your news, because you and Kylie have been blogging monthly about the security updates and tweeting on Node and OpenJS handles. So the permissions model, I think, has been in every blog.
Yes.
So, and tweet. So I'm kind of wondering how else can we scale the message to get it to people like you?
How do you think that we should expose it?
Why do you know you had a blog? So that would probably help.
It's on Mastodon and X as well. So
Maybe blog directly on Node.js?
Yeah, like we have a blog and we have guides and things, but I think the blog is only used for release announcements.
Yeah.
And I don't think the guide has been updated in years. So maybe that's a start.
and do you follow social media? Ish. Okay.
But do we post about it on the Node Twitter handle?
We do.
Don't we have a don't we have a Node/tweet repository where we can just?
No, it's archived.
Sorry?
It is not working anymore.
I thought.
So it's nothing to do with it being broken. It's just Twitter's API doesn't allow it.
Yeah, we normally send it to Node.js social, and Kylie takes it and posts. Right then, I don't have more time, so that's it, folks. I will take the notes after, and thank you.